Okay, viewers, you're looking at the ceiling, but that's not important. What is important is Zoe's face. How you doing, Zoe?
Hello, I'm alright.
Brilliant. To your left, we have a screen held up by Lewis. How you doing, Lewis?
I'm great, mate.
Awesome. We've got somebody on this screen who's going to talk about why he wants us to stay in the EU. If there's anything you disagree with when you hear him say it, say, hey, what's going on? And we'll press pause and hear your counter response. Is that all clear?
For sure.
Excellent. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
What a time to be alive.
Looking at the floor, but as usual, that is not important right now. What is important is this guy here. Hello, what is your name? My name is Dan. Dan, hello, I'm John. You're also talking to Lewis, guys. Lewis, fantastic. Lewis and I have got a few questions regarding voting to leave. What is your main reason for leaving? Why do you think that would be a good idea?
For me, I mean, there's lots of stuff that's thrown around at the moment. You get lots of things like people saying, oh, it's to do with trade, it's to do with the economy. Personally, for me, I don't think either way it's going to have much effect on our economy or our trade. I think for me it's more to do with democracy. Now, currently the European Union has commissioners. These commissioners are unelected, they're unaccountable to the people. We cannot...
A few things I want to say.
Oh, you don't seem happy about that. You seem happy about that. What's wrong?
Let's make this combatant or let's make this simple. Because basically, okay, the European Union has commissioners, it's true, and they're not elected. It also has a European Parliament, where every country has elections and elects their own representatives and go to the Parliament and vote. And I'm not going to say that, okay, the EU doesn't have any problems with democracy, the Parliament needs to be reinforced, it's true. But this has something to do basically more about improving the EU rather than voting to leave altogether. And there's another issue. Basically, I was reading today about the argument that the UK is always outvoted and stuff like that. This is so not true. I was specifically reading today that actually 56 times I think the UK was in the losing side of things. 2,400 and something was in the winning side of things through the European procedures. So there you have it for democracy.
It's a lot of winning, really.
I think so. I would say.
Is this guy, is he saying something that's wrong, do you reckon?
He's not saying something that's wrong, but he's saying something that is incomplete.
Misinformed.
Yeah.
You cannot talk just about the commissioners and say that there's no democracy in the EU when you have a whole European Parliament and just focus on this. I'm not saying, I'm not saying there are no problems with democracy in the European Union level, but there is democracy and we are represented and we are heard.
So diplomatic, isn't she?
What a time to be alive.
Let's carry on.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, let's see what else.
For example, they do something wrong, we cannot get rid of them. For me, that is the main reason, is our democracy and our sovereignty, our decisions to decide things as a free, independent, sovereign nation. We cannot do that if we are told what to do or dictated to by European commissioners. If they get it wrong, if we don't like them, we have no power to remove them. It's not like David Cameron or anyone else getting into government here who we can remove if they get it wrong at a general election.
By the way,
your face, you're not happy with what's going on. Press pause on his face. His face is
I just, as far as I know, the commissioners are chosen by the countries. I don't want to be like, I don't have tons of information on this, but it's not like there's some people that just suddenly like spared in the European Union and they're there and they're dictating stuff. They're kind of like very bureaucratic positions as well. It's not like even they're carving policy or anything. This is a job, okay, the commission, all right, is an issue, but the commission is comprised of country representatives, and country ministers. So that's simply, I think, not true.
Right then, we'll continue.
What a face.
To remove the people who govern us from Brussels. That is my main reason.
Do you have any questions regarding the immigration factor in this leave scenario?
In terms of wanting to leave as well, does immigration play a big part in that for you, or do you believe that immigrants are beneficial to the economy? I think anyone would be very stupid to say that immigrants are not good for the economy. Of course they are good for the economy. We do need immigration. The problem with immigration is, at the moment, with European Union membership, it is uncontrolled. We cannot stop the number of people coming into here. So anyone can come into Europe, they can move to Germany, for example, live there for 5 years, they get themselves a European passport. And of course everyone wants to come and live in Britain because it's a fantastic nation. And of course they've got that European passport that gives them immediate access to the United Kingdom, it gives them access to the benefit system, the welfare system.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do
you want to repeat what he said? Because there was a tannoy going off in this station. What was he saying?
Does he imply that if I go to Germany and live for 5 years, I get the German nationality and a German passport? This is absolutely false.
Well, here we go. That's the face of anger.
This is absolutely not true, man. Let me tell you, in the UK, as an EU citizen, you have to stay for 5 years until you get the right to be a permanent resident. Let's not even start talking about nationality. You don't even have to, like, it's not even like obligated. Every nation decides basically whether they want to give you their nationality and their passport or not, basically. That's about it. Otherwise, you need visas. If you're not from the EU, you need visas. It's
My
simple as
question
that.
is, do you think that he's like misinformed, or do you think that he's giving us information which is not necessarily correct so that we can get a response that would be congruent to something else?
Is something that you see a lot in the Leave campaign. There is some misinformation, like flat out misinformation, like some financial numbers, basically what Boris Johnson was given, like this is flat out wrong, basically, and has been pointed out and everything. I think most of the time it's like some sort of twisting of what's happening, like a bit of a twisting of reality to make it sound like basically, I don't know, we're being flooded by immigrants.
Let's have more of his face. If you want to put that up against our white barrier. There we go.
This is putting an enormous amount of strain on the economy. It's on top of that, it's putting an enormous amount of strain on housing. So we're having to build extra houses all the time. We're having to build on greenbelt spaces. You know, our green and pleasant land.
This is going to be
we're so unhappy. We're so unhappy with building. We don't like building in England. Yeah, we're very unhappy about the building industry. Come on, man. This is like basically a prime example of why you have a booming like industry in the regards of construction and everything. No one's complaining about having to build new houses, is it? I mean, I can understand some issues of gentrification if that's the point, but that's not the point he's making, is it?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Jesus. What's going on?
Here we go. Come on, fella.
You know, in the next few years, cities the size of Birmingham to accommodate the amount of people. So it's not an issue of we don't want people coming in. Of course, we need immigration. We need immigrants. We do need them. We just need to control the quantity, and not just the quantity, also the quality. You know, we want skilled workers. We want people. At the moment, the EU's immigration policy is very discriminatory against people from outside the European Union.
I didn't hear what he was saying actually.
Well, he's saying that we want skilled workers.
Yeah.
We don't want to basically give us, bring in people who don't have skills.
Is it? Well, who's gonna be like au pairs and people who work in the fields, where jobs basically that a lot of people that are native literally like refuse to do. Yeah,
Who's going to be the cleaners? Who's going to be like
what's happening? What's happening actually, based on like EU immigration law, is that the laws of the EU are actually quite discriminatory and quite like not where they should be in regards of human rights and everything, because basically those people that come for like seasonal works and stuff like that, they have very limited rights. They don't have a right to unionize. They don't have several rights basically, and what we're doing in our economy is we're taking advantage of these people that come for a very brief period of time. They cost nothing to the UK. They don't take benefits. They don't take anything like that, and at the same time they're doing a job that no one else wants to do, and when they're done with this job, they get kicked out basically. Okay. That's it.
Let's hear the last section and let's let him finish what he has to say.
Very important factor in this debate, a very important factor.
Anything else to say? Because one of the things that goes against the idea of us leaving is that if you actually wanted to travel, it would be a lot more difficult for you. You'd have to actually buy like a visa or whatnot. What do you think of that?
The United Kingdom, along with several other countries, have visa-free access travel to Europe. It's nothing to do with the European Union. That's a completely separate agreement we have with other nations in Europe. We would have visa-free access along with a lot of other countries in the world, I think including the United States as well. So I mean, it's not going to affect your ability to go on holiday or to go travelling in Europe. That's absolute nonsense, and it's one of the lies that the Remain side are putting out at the moment.
Right, because I've heard that bandied about quite a bit. Do you think that's something that will be punctured by some of the people who are talking about leaving? I mean, do you reckon that they'll address that lie?
I'm hoping they do address it more, because it is a big lie and it is conning a lot of people. But I think at the end of the day, the British people are not gullible, and I don't think they're going to fall for that one. I really don't think so. Like I say, you just need to look into it, look it up. You know, we do have visa-free access to Europe, whether in the EU or outside the EU. So it's completely irrelevant, and it's just being brought up to scaremonger people. That's the truth of it.
Okay, cool. Do you have any parting words before the camera switches to the off mode?
Just want to say to the people of Great Britain, vote leave, get out of the European Union, take back the sovereignty of your nation and take back your democracy. That is the best thing you can do for future generations on June 23rd. Get out there, vote leave, vote for democracy, vote for your freedom.
Okay, we'll end on the other. Well, that's his vote.
Okay.
What's your vote? You reckon vote Remain?
I would say vote Remain.
Well,
like the European Union is an establishment that has put us forward, that it is a work for peace, a work for human rights, something that basically works for the people, from protecting like the buyers, like the customers and everything, protecting environmental law, protecting like so many different things, you know, advancing actually democracy, putting like barriers in intervening for unjust wars, for instance, things like that. I think European Union has its faults. We need to look forward. We need to look in the future, and Britain needs to play its part in it, and needs to help basically the European Union push forward as a great democratic nation that the UK has been since always, basically.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Zoe. Very eloquent, very well informed. I don't know if what that guy said about the whole visa thing is true, if it's a lie or not. So please get in touch with us via the comment box, or indeed on FaceCrack, where you'll find this video. Bye-bye for now. Oh, and thank you, Lewis, for being cool.
Yes.
For being cool. That's awesome.